A one and a two and a chick-a-boom a chick.
Hey, let me take a quick break to say this. One of the biggest shifts I've seen in remodelers over the years happens when they get in a room with other growth-minded business owners. That's what the RISE conference is all about. August 11th and 12th in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Pricing, leadership, production, marketing, and most importantly, real conversations with people who understand your world. If you want clarity and momentum heading into the next season of your business, this is a great place to get it. And it's a lot of fun. You can find all the info at remodelers.com/rise. Now let's keep going. Before we jump into today's episode, this is a conversation I had with another coach and consultant, Brad Hubner with Hammer and Grind. He invited me on his podcast recently. We got into some good areas, some good territory. We got into mindset, where your energy is going as a business owner and the importance of paying attention to that, a few of the traps that can keep you spinning your wheels. We also talked about focusing on your own business, tuning out the noise, and getting down to what actually drives results. I kind of like being interviewed versus being the interviewer, and I enjoyed this podcast. I think you'll get a lot out of it. Enjoy today's Remodelers on the Rise episode, which is a rebroadcast of the Hammer and Grind podcast. Enjoy. Reach out anytime, folks.
Hey, welcome back to the show. I have another very special guest with me today. I have Kyle Hunt with Remodelers on the Rise. Kyle, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Brad.
Absolutely. I've been wanting to do this for a while. We actually ran into each other recently at the Job Tread Connect conference. Both of us were heading to the bathroom, probably the least ideal place to meet. But anyways, here we are. Kyle, welcome to the show.
I mean, not only were we heading to the bath, we were in the bathroom. And we had a nice little chit chat.
That's true. Yeah.
And then I don't think we chatted at the urinals. I think I was like, I want to say hi to Brad. And we did it more during the hand washing portion. Because as everybody listening knows, nobody wants to talk during the urinal time. Stop doing
That's
it,
true.
people.
I did make sure you washed your hand, though, before I shook it after we parted ways.
There we go. And I did.
All right. Well, Kyle, give us a little intro about who you are and what it is that you do.
I am a lifelong Michigander up here in Brighton, Michigan, just north of Ann Arbor. Born and raised up here. I had worked for a remodeling company after I graduated college and was helping them with their marketing, advertising, managing their showroom. Therefore, designers. I got involved in the financial side of the business, and the year was 2008. So it's almost 18 years ago. I turned to my wife Sarah and I said, "Honey, we got one kid. Another one on the way. It's a crappy economy here in Michigan. We got no money in the bank, and I want to quit my job and start my own business." To which, of course, what do you think she said, Brad?
She said, "Yeah, let's do it. I trust you."
Oh, I trust you, and you're just going to be the most amazing entrepreneur. I think there's some revisionist history there, but to her credit, she did support it. I ended up turning my former employer into my first client and kind of weaned off of them, if you will, or it's going in 3 days a week, 2 days a week, and kind of started my entrepreneurial journey. And shortly after I started it, I said, you know what? I'm going to take some of my own medicine. Don't be all things to all people. If you're listening to this, don't be all things to all people. There's value in specializing in the types of services that you offer. And I put my flag in the ground and said, you know what? I'm just going to work with remodeling companies. And I've been doing that for all these years now. And coach remodelers, kitchens, baths, additions is primarily the type of work that most of my clients do, and do a lot around financials, marketing, sales, leadership, and that type of work. Some of you who listen to the Hammer and Grind podcast are going, wait a minute. Is Brad having Kyle on this podcast? It sounds like he's a business coach. Well, he's competition. And to Brad's credit, he thinks like I think, where there's plenty of room and there's plenty of voices and there's plenty of folks who need help. And I think it speaks a lot to Brad's approach to business and frankly his character to have somebody that quote unquote could be competition. No. Let's all help each other. And I think if you're listening to this and you're all worked up about your local competition, the more you focus on them and what are they doing and what are they charging, all of that time and energy is not being spent fixing your own business. Competition can fuel us a little bit. It can also be the thief of joy and the thief of focus. So tread carefully with that.
Yeah. So you have the Remodelers on the Rise. That's your business. That's what you do to help remodelers in their business, in their coach, or you coach them in their business to help them. Yep. You said something interesting there though about the energy and all that, where you put it. I see it all the time. I'm sure you're in a lot of the like Facebook groups and different community groups, and you see someone post about, hey, I had this situation where someone's cheated me out of $1,000 and I'm going to take them to court and sue them. And I'm just like, why? Like you're going to spend way more money and way more energy and really like hate your life during that time while you're doing that, when you could just go out and if you spent the exact same amount of time on your business, you'd probably make $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 versus trying to recoup that $1,000.
But Brad, they wronged me. They wronged me.
You got to get them back. It's crazy because you said you started in 2008. I actually started my construction business 2009. I thought everyone's leaving the industry. There's no business. What a great time to start a construction company, right? I started out doing handyman stuff because that was the easiest thing to get into. I didn't have any money. And then we started doing remodeling after that. But competition, I don't know where I got it from. I don't know if it was just I read a book, heard somebody say it. I never cared about competition. I really didn't, I think when I first got started, I called one guy to see what his rates were, and that was it. And then from that point on, I never checked. I never asked. I didn't care what they charged. I didn't care what they did. I just focused on me and my business, and that was it. And I think it's a great way to approach things in life is like, we can get stressed out on social media. I just turn on social media for 10 minutes and you need to go have a drink or something because it's all doom and gloom. But yeah, that reminded me of that. So
hold that take for a second. I like whatever question you're about to ask, but it doesn't mean that like what the person is saying is like, I'm going to take him to court. Yeah, you have every right to do that. And then what you said of going, if you took that same energy and you put it towards productive things, it's probably going to be more of a net positive. Yeah, but they deserve this and they wronged me. We do have to pay attention to where we are putting our time and our energy and our focus. And it is either into life-giving and improving and productive stuff, or it is into life-draining stuff. I know that if I sit there and piddle away 30 minutes of my precious work time scrolling social media, that I will feel worse at the end of that. Now, we have to have a little escapism, like business is hard, life is hard, but pay attention to how you are dishing out your precious energy and time, and make sure that you are putting it towards productive things. And also, work time is work time. I have to remind myself of that sometimes, of like from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., lock in. From 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., lock in. Don't be distracted. You got plenty of time to scroll and have a little downtime and recoup later in the day. Let's get some stuff done. There's things to do.
Oh, yeah. I agree with you 100%. And I also, I used to, this was a few years ago. I mean, it's not, but fairly recent. I would listen to, talk radio, some political stuff, and I would get so engrossed into it. And then after the 2016 election and all the debacle that went down after that, I said, you know what? I'm not going to watch the news anymore. Turned off all the radio shows, all that stuff, deleted news, everything. And you know what happened? I actually got happier. I was less stressed out, and I've never watched the news ever since then. Now, I mean, of course, things pop up in social, like, hey, did you see this?
You're aware, right? We need to be aware.
Yeah, I'm aware of it, but I'm not going and researching it and watching the news and what do they say about this and what's happening here. I'm like, if it's important enough, somebody will tell me. I'll find out somehow, right? And so that it's along the same lines of don't focus on the negative stuff, and you'll have a lot more energy and a lot more effort that you can put towards your business, which is the positive stuff.
Yeah. My wife and I did a marriage retreat last week. It's the second time we've done it. I've worked with a lot of husband-wife teams over the years, and I've had this idea for years of, man, it'd be so good to just bring together some couples who are married and in the remodeling world. And we did it 18 months ago and had 7 couples come, and decided to do it again. And we ended up with 7 new couples last week. And one of the big takeaways from one of the participants, shout out Isaiah, was, he's like, I'm such a business person and self-development and improvement person that I'm always analyzing everything from how can I make it better? How can I make it better? And he's like, man, last week there were several. Did you just raise your hand?
Yeah, that's me. You're talking about me.
Yes, that's you. Yeah. Yeah. I'm feeling like you're attacking me right now, Kyle. What are you going to say next? And I was talking to Isaiah this morning, and he's like, there was something in last week that the guest speaker, Josh, shared, and that you and Sarah talked about, and that my wife and I were talking about of, I need to stop being so fixated on what to fix and what the negatives are, and maybe just take a little bit of time and evaluate and go, holy cow. And he was talking about his marriage. Like, there's so many things that are going well. We are so fortunate in so many ways. And I need to stop fixating on the negativity. So a little bit of a theme of where we've gone so far even is just like, we've got to make sure we're not draining energy by trying to get revenge on that client or this or that. Protect that. Focus on some more positives. What you focus on grows. And if you start to look for positives in your life, you're going to find more positives. When Brad turned off the news, literally rewind the tape, what he just said was, I was happier was the word you just used. And doggone it, business is stressful. Running a business is stressful. Oh, you want to add on marriage and some kids and everything else on top of that? It is hard. And part of the antidote of that is to stop being so stinking negative constantly. Stop feeding your mind with every negative thought and every negative news article, because it's already hard enough. And frankly, it's making you a miserable person, and it's making you a miserable employer. And people don't want to be around somebody that's constantly negative. And you can flip that. Life is 90%, 10% what happens to you, and 90% how you respond to it. And 42% of all statistics are made up, Brad. I just kind of made up that 10 and 90. I don't care if it's 10 or 90 or 20 or 80. The point is, we need to focus on more positives. We need to protect that. We need to look at the blessings in our lives. We need to look at things that are going well. And yes, we are still entrepreneurial. And yes, we are still going to improve things. And yes, Brad is still going to raise his hand like I do when I'm like, yeah, I hear you. I'm going to continue to improve, but let's make sure it's balanced out.
Yeah, preach. If I was going to church there for a second, Kyle, you were dropping some.
Yeah, sometimes it gets like that. Sorry.
There was a book. I love a book. You probably read it, The Gap in the Gain. I'm sure you have. Have you read that book, The Gap in the Gain?
Hang on, let me pause there. I love to buy books. As far as reading the books, I struggle with that. I need to improve that. Now, I am familiar with the concept, and I have heard of that book, yes.
I usually do Audible. I don't like to read a book. I listen to Audible, and I listen to a lot of Audible books. But I think it's Ben Sullivan is his name, one of the authors. But it's The Gap in the Gain. Basically, it's like you can focus on the gap, like where you haven't achieved, or you can focus on the gain. Right. And like where you want to be. Like all of us have ambitions. I want to have this $10 million remodeling company by the time I'm 25, and I want to retire when I'm 40, and always, and then when you're like 35 and you're like, man, I haven't even broke $1 million yet. And I wanted to do it when I was 25, and my life sucks, and look at me and everything's terrible. That's focusing on the gap, right? How far am I from where I want to go? But you look back, you're like, yeah, you haven't hit, 10 million or 50 million, but you got a $2 million business. That's not easy to do. Like, congratulations. Take the time to recognize how far you've come. But if we spend all of our time in the gap, you're always going to be miserable. And here's the most distinctive part about it. We always move the finish line, right? And so it's like looking at the horizon. Like, you're never going to reach the horizon. And so, I got the 1 million. If I get the 1 million, I'll be happy. Well, I'm here now. If I get to 5 million, if I can get to 10 million, if I can do this, if I can do that, and that's living in the gap. That's what we're talking about. It's good advice.
Yeah. It's hard to implement. It's hard to implement, but it is good advice. That coaching, like you coach folks, I coach folks. So much of making progress in your business, of course, you got to listen to Brad. You got to listen to me. We got to know our numbers. We're probably singing the same song with that of, you have to understand your revenue and cost of goods sold and your gross profit margin. You have to pay attention to your job costing and look at grippage and slippage. You have to understand how that ties in with your overhead expenses and making sure you're kicking out a net profit. And yes, after you've paid yourself a reasonable owner's salary, you need to be sitting there at minimum 8% net profit, and let's go up from there, because up from there is even funner, even more fun. You have to know the numbers. You have to have a marketing system. You have to have a sales process. Brad teaches good sales process side of things too. But so much of actual growth that I see in my clients over the years comes back to mindset comes back to confidence, comes back to the ability to lead and inspire and encourage others. And those are those softer skills. And there's a direct correlation from what we've already talked about when it comes to negativity, focusing on what's wrong, being kind of always just, yeah, this isn't good. Yeah, whatever. So I sold another $50,000 project, but this went on today. And when we start to be a little bit more positive, a little bit more optimistic, a little bit more pat yourself on the back, that confidence and that mindset and that leadership that starts to blend a little bit better. A lot of you need to hear this. Crap's going to happen today. I guarantee it. If you didn't want to have a crappy day from time to time or things to pop up that you weren't expecting, maybe you shouldn't have got into contracting. Contracting is hard, stinking work, and there's a lot that can go wrong in it. We can't let a bad 15 minutes turn into a bad day. Things are going to happen. Keep it in perspective. Stomp around a little bit, throw a little hissy fit, and then let's get back into solving mode. And don't let that 15 minutes dictate the rest of your day. That might be a takeaway. I love people having takeaways from podcasts, right? Because that's why they're listening to this. Yeah. I feel like you've given 3 takeaways. I've given 3 takeaways. We're killing it, man.
Yeah. Well, we should charge for this episode.
Yeah.
I couldn't keep a straight face when I said it. Sorry. Yeah. I say that because I had a review recently for the podcast, and the person said, welcome to the funnel, welcome to the money funnel where Brad's just going to try and sell you everything on his services. Nice. And I'm like, what's the point of business if it's not to actually sell something?
Yeah, fair / that mindset sucks. Now, they're saying that because they see all the gurus and all the coaches and everybody, every new week, there's a new coach saying this or that. So yes, you have to be discerning on who you follow. If you're listening to this podcast, it's because Brad he's put out free content that's been helpful for you. That's why you're listening to this. And you follow him on Facebook, and he's given you that free resource that's given you some value. So yes, he's a coach. I'm a coach. And if we're doing it properly, we're giving a lot of value out free of charge. And yes, eventually you're going to go, I'm hearing some good stuff. I wonder what kind of paid services that would provide more clarity, more accountability, and more progress for me. Sure. The person that left that review has a lot to do with all of this mindset and positive thinking and perspective. That person is not running a business that is in control, that is making a healthy net profit. He's jaded, or she's jaded, and is always looking for the negative angle. Instead of looking for the positive thing in that episode and finding that, he or she is looking at the negative. And I'm telling you, that is stinking thinking. I didn't make that up. I think I heard it. It sounds like a Zig Ziglar line. It is, though. It's stinking thinking. And pay attention to how you are navigating your day and how you're talking to people. And I'm telling you, leadership and growth and all of that is going to attract good team members as well.
Absolutely. And I know you agree with me on this. Like, yes, there are the gurus and the people out there that are going to scam you, and we hate them just as much as you do. Like, it seems like every week there's a new business coach coming out, a new marketing company coming out. And a lot of these times, a lot of them are good. Don't get me wrong. But a lot of them are just there to make money. They don't care if you have success, right? So yes, it makes us look bad. It's no different than the meth head contractor down the street who's making you look bad as a contractor. It's the same thing in every industry, and we don't like that as well. It's funny to me. I had it on TikTok's where I go to learn all of the to see all of the swamp thoughts that come on. I would say garbage in equals garbage out, right? If you're constantly putting in that negative stuff, you're just always going to be thinking negative. And somebody had commented on a TikTok video that I made, and he said. He's like, you don't need a coach and all this. You just got to work hard. Construction, you just give it, work hard, grit, and eventually you'll be successful. And I don't remember all the context, everything. But then I said something back to him about, well, but you can hire a coach and shortcut that process, learn faster, not go through all the same, make the same mistakes. And then he responded, he said, well, I paid a local mentor $30,000 to help me. And he's really made a big difference in my business. And he's not on social media. He's not a guru. And I was just laughing to myself. Like, one, you just proved my point. Like, you paid $30,000 to get help. But your definition of, if he's not on social media, he's a mentor. But if he's on social media, he's a guru. Yeah. How do you come up with that soundtrack?
I think it comes back to you either are rooting for Gary V. Some people hate him, some people, whatever. He is who he is. But he's got a few phrases I like. One, when people leave negativity, he's like, I just feel bad for him. Like, what's going on in their life that gentleman watched that piece of content and said, you know what, I need to write and throw Brad under the bus a little bit, even though what Brad is putting on here is probably he's trying to be helpful and help people improve their business. But I kind of feel bad for that guy. The other thing that Gary has that's resonated with me is he's like, I want to build the biggest building in town. Like, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a businessman. Like, I want to build something here. I want to build something I'm proud of and that provides great, et cetera. But I want to build the biggest building and not tear down any other building around me. Like, I'm rooting for you too. Like, I'm rooting for Brad. Like, Brad, years ago decided, you know what? I'm going to move into this coaching thing. He's got a heart to coach people, to help people. Like, I could either be like, I hope Brad kind of sucks and he gets better. No, that's just so negative. And again, a little theme we've got going here: mindset. I'm not a preacher of like, hey, it's just all about positive thinking, then everything fits. No, but there's some truth in it. And yes, whatever I fixate on grows, and whatever I fill my head with is going to come out. I could preach there because there's some good scripture and proverbs related to protecting your heart, because everything flows through it. But we're not going to. That's all I'll preach, unless you want me to preach more. Carry on.
No, I agree with you. I'm on the same page with that.
True.
The reason I was bringing that up is because you were talking about mindset, and there's a saying in the coaching world. It's like, give them what they want, or sell them what they want, and then give them what they need. Right. And so a lot of these guys that come in need mindset. They need a healthier mindset. I was the same person. Like, it's funny. Everything that I help my clients with, I did. Like, I am the poster child for everything wrong that you should do in your business. And so I come from an experience standpoint of like, don't do that. Don't think that way. Don't, make this decision. Don't undercharge, because this is the result. Right. And I lived that for many years. But I want to shift here real quick, because I want to make sure we get into this.
Yeah, please.
You've been doing this, you said 18 years.
Yep.
Is that right? 18.
Yep.
You've kind of dialed it all down into one thing that you've learned. Why don't you share with us what that one thing is that you learned?
Well, you heard this at Job Tread Connect, didn't you? Were you in the audience for this?
I didn't get to listen to your speech. I wanted to, but I didn't get to.
Oh, see, I was wondering if you were in the room, if like it was a tearjerker for you, and you're like, oh, that was just the most moving thing I've ever heard. But I touched on it, and it's something that I just wholeheartedly believe. Like, if you boil it down, these hundreds of remodelers and 18 years, and what's this big lesson that we have, and I kind of like to build that up a lot, and then I kind of prepare people and go, you're not going to love the answer. Like, and the answer is, hey, there's no magic bullet. Stop looking for the magic pixie dust that you sprinkle on your business and poof, there's your $5 million, super profitable, beautiful team, great financials, marketing plan that just produces all these leads, a sales process that differentiates you, that just works beautifully, protects your time, etc. No. There's no magic bullet. The big thing that I've learned, the big lesson is, it is a combination. Running a successful contracting business, running a successful remodeling business is not a magic bullet. It's a combination of a lot of little things. It is the consistent and relentless doing and implementing of positive, smart, wise business decisions that compounds over time, piece by piece by piece, that turns your business into the business that you hopefully are kind of dreaming of it being. That's the one big lesson. It's a combination of a lot of little things. And for some people, that's kind of a depressing thing to hear, of like, oh, I just wanted the easy button. For others, if we get the right perspective and we stop chasing the magic bullet, it's a very empowering thing. It is a little bit lame. Crap. So you mean I have to job cost every project? You mean I have to fight for the time to understand my P&L? You mean I have to do my bookkeeping and I can't be 2 months behind on my bookkeeping? You mean that I actually need to put my marketing hat on and care about it so I can build know, like, and trust with people? You mean that I can't just shoot from the hip on the sales process and I need a project discovery sheet that I use when I talk to a new prospect for the first time? You mean that that's a very important part of the process and I can't just be driving around in my truck asking some random questions as my first impression with a new client? I could go on and on and on. Correct. It's a combination of a lot of smart little things. That's the secret.
Hey, just a quick time out from the show. If you're a frustrated contractor who's dealing with low profit margins, stuck working on the tools every day, or doing free estimates for people who are never going to hire you in the first place, I invite you to my private contractor community, the Profit Club, where contractors just like you are adding 2 to 3 times more profit each year without producing any more jobs and finally getting completely off the tools to never do another free estimate again. So if you're ready to increase your profits, stop doing free estimates and get off the tools, then all you have to do is click the link in the show notes to learn more about the Profit Club and see how it can easily 2 to 3 times the cash in your pocket, give you a proven sales process that will convert more jobs with ease and get you off the tools once and for all. And the best part is you can do all of this without having to produce more jobs than you currently are. Click the link to learn more. Now let's get back to the show. Yeah. I mean, you ever listen to Ed Milet? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, a little bit. He's not my cup of tea.
No, I mean, he's got some good stuff. He talks about the 1%.
Similar to Gary Vee, like, oh, are you a big Gary? Nah, I mean, I like some, but yeah, similar to Ed.
Yeah, but I think he's got a book called The 1% Rule or 1%er or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the same thing. It's like, it's just the 1% gradual improvement every day, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's no magic bullet. It's just doing the right things at the right time. And eventually, one day you will wake up, whether that's 2 years, 5 years, 20 years down the road, and be like, man, how did I get here? How did I have this success?
Mm-hmm.
Because of that constant and never-ending improvement, what I call CANI. I don't know if you're a Tony Robbins fan or not, but I stole that from him many years ago. Constant and never-ending improvement. That's what it's all about. How do you, when you're working with a client and they come to you and they're like, I want you to, make me a bunch of money and save me a bunch of time. Like, how do you kind of set that expectation of like, this isn't going to happen overnight. Like, this is going to take some effort from you.
That's good. Well, somebody that comes with that mindset, I like that we're talking about mindset. That comes with that mindset is still in the looking for the magic bullet mode. Like, even the way you just phrased that is a perfect example of kind of what we were just talking about. Versus somebody that comes that says, hey, I need your help. And you've built enough know, like, and trust with me through the podcast and through the content and through a referral from so-and-so that I reached out to you in the first place. And I'm wise enough to know that there's no magic bullet. I'm wise enough to know that a coach isn't going to just magically do all this for me. And I'm wise enough to know that it's going to take me doing different things going forward than the things I've been doing. Oh, now we've got fertile ground. So sometimes I do a little coaching on the mindset and the expectation level before we even get started. Because if somebody's going, I need you to help me with this, I need you to do this, and like, that's code for I'm still looking for the easy button and I'm looking for excuses and I'm going to tell you why this isn't working and why that isn't working. Somebody that comes with humility and says, one, I've come a long ways. I will recognize that. From where I was 3 years ago to where I am now, I ought to acknowledge that I've made a lot of improvement. But Kyle, Brad, I'm looking at competition. I'm looking at other people. They have got a lot going on, and I'm starting to pay attention. I'm like, there's so many holes in my business. There's so many things to work on, and I am committed to doing the little things to continue day in, day out. Get 1% better, if you want to use that acronym, that focus. To what was Tony's? What was it?
Yeah.
Say it again.
Constant and never-ending improvement.
I'm ready for constant and never-ending improvement. I recognize that if I take an idea related to financials, because I'm going to recognize that's my biggest problem. I'm not going to avoid it anymore. I'm going to lean in and recognize that I need to know my numbers. It's confusing to me. It's embarrassing to me. I don't want to talk about it, and I'm going to lean in and have healthy conflict with it and fix it, because it's people listening, it's absolutely doable. And it's also if you're messed up financially, that's your top priority. Stop asking about social media. Stop asking about sales process improvement. Focus on understanding your financials is so important. But that's the kind of mindset. That's the kind of attitude. A person needs to get in that mindset of it is about the little things. It is the combination of all of those things. It's not some magic bullet. And yeah, Get ready to work. And if you, especially in a group-based coaching, which is like the Profit Club for you, in group-based coaching, if you sign up for the Profit Club, and you don't consume any of pre-recorded content, you show up for live calls occasionally, and you sometimes do everything, your ROI is going to suck for it. And Brad's going to continue to encourage you to do the work, ask me questions. Dude, Profit Club people, send me an email. I don't know if you do this or not, so sorry if I'm putting words in your mouth. But like, send me an email if you're stuck on something. Like, we'll answer it on the next call. We'll do this. You'll get good ROI. If you won't get good ROI, you will be 6 months in and go, well, this sucks. Why am I even paying this money? Hey, Brad, I'm done with this. Okay, fair enough. If you show up and you do the work and you ask questions and you start implementing piece by piece, and you don't have 20 hours a week to work on your business, you have 2. And you put more focus on the most important thing you need to fix in your business in those 2 hours, and you're hyper-focused on that, and you're asking Brad questions, and you're watching the content, and you're wrestling with it, and you're listening to it, you will improve. And that compound effect of improvement week in, week out, you can absolutely build a kick-butt business that is not consuming your life, that gives you decent work-life integration, that makes you feel confident in control of your business. You can absolutely do it.
Absolutely. I mean, I'll just hire you to do my promoting for me, Kyle. I don't need to do content anymore.
Listen to what Kyle Hunt says about Brad in the Profit Club. Listen to this.
You talked about that, and this is something that it doesn't crack me up, but it just blows my mind. When you join the Profit Club, which is a group coaching program, you have unlimited access to me through a WhatsApp channel. Like, you could message me all day long. You could blow up my phone and ask me questions, talk about problems. And the percentage of people that actually take advantage of that is like less than 1%.
Yep.
Like, I mean, that's how much you can message me at 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm not going to answer you at 2 o'clock in the morning. But if I wake up and I come in and I check my messages when I get to work, I'm going to respond to you. I'm going to give you feedback. One of the things that whenever someone does sign up, I have a code of conduct. It's like 11 things that I expect out of you if you're going to join my community, because you're not going to come into my community and cause a problem. And one of the things in there, which is what you just talked about, is be vulnerable. That's one of the code of conducts, is you have to be vulnerable. You have to show up to yourself, for your business. And this isn't about being a coaching. This is just being an owner of a company. You have to be vulnerable enough to come in and say, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to do X. I'm not sure how we're going to get leads this week, team. Whatever it is, it's like being vulnerable enough to say, I don't know, and I need help. And when you do that, the amount of growth that will come out of that is amazing. We do on our sales training calls with you, we'll do role plays, and we do it live, so there's like 10, 15, 20 people on this call, and you're role playing in front of your peers. Mm-hmm. And it's one of the most nerve-wracking things you can do, right? Because they can call you out when you mess something up, but you will learn so much. You will get so much growth out of that. I can't even describe it, but people are scared to death to put themselves out there and be vulnerable because they don't want people to think they don't know what they're doing. And that's an ego problem.
That's an ego problem. That is a fear problem. That is a scar that you had from 8th grade when so-and-so made fun of you. I mean, it goes deep. It can go deep sometimes. The whole part of this is like, how bad do you want it? Because you can absolutely be currently in year 6 of your business and you're struggling, and you can be marginally better 2 years from now, still on the tools, still trying to figure this out. It'd be 2 years later, and you could be barely marginally better. You are a business owner in 2026. My grandpa was a contractor in the 50s and 60s. My other grandpa was a painting contractor in the 50s and 60s. What kind of training did they have at their disposal? Maybe they find a mentor down the road that actually had his crap together, right? You are a business owner in 2026. Yes, there's almost too much information out there, but you have no excuse not to get better. How bad do you want it? Are you ready to get uncomfortable and actually I call it batting practice instead of role playing? Like everybody, even all-stars, in the baseball, Major League Baseball starting up, like even Miggy Cabrera back in the day had to do some batting practice. But are you willing to be uncomfortable? That's a great question. Are you willing to be vulnerable? Because as soon as you raise your hand and say, hey, I don't understand that, can you explain it again? The sky is the limit for you. But as long as you are ego and prideful and wanting to make excuses on this or that, again, all this mindset conversation, you're going to stunt your ability to grow. The biggest growth I've had in my business is putting myself around other coaches, consultants, especially early on, where I felt, one group in particular, I felt like I shouldn't have been in the room. Like, holy crap, these people, like they're so experienced, they're so kind, but like I almost want to fib at how I'm doing because I don't want to embarrass myself. And once I got past that ego and that pride and was vulnerable and honest, that's where growth happens. And it's the same thing for people listening to this. If you're listening to this and you're part of the Profit Club and you're not taking advantage of the WhatsApp, come on, blow up. I hope one of your Profit Club listeners are listening to this and just blows the crap up out of your phone. And I say that sometimes to my groups too, of like, I will let you know if you are overstepping my invitation to reach out. But to your point and to my point, it doesn't happen. Come on, people, put these coaches to work. Make us sweat a little bit. Make us go, whew, another email. Okay, I got a live one here. They're working. They're implementing. Let's go, baby. Do that and yeah, work on that. I love this mindset. Brad had an outline. He's a professional podcaster talking to another professional podcaster over here. He had a little outline of like, this is the direction we're going. And then he goes, we'll see also. We might go. And Brad took us down a little vein of the mindset side. And I love kind of the theme we've got here. We've come to this confidence and mindset and positive thinking and incremental growth. All of this is kind of wrapping around the same kind of theme, isn't it?
Absolutely. This is the exact reason why you need to be in some type of community. I don't even mean coaching. I mean a healthy, positive, growth-oriented community, whether it's a Facebook group or a local bunch of guys you're in. I don't care. But if you're in a community with people like you were saying, and I say this all the time, like if you're broke and I put you in a room with 20 millionaires or multimillionaires, there's no way you're not going to be successful. You're going to make some money. Yep. Maybe you don't make that much, but there's no way you can't win if you're in that group of people that are positive. My community in the Profit Club is one of the most important. It's like what I'm proud of the most. Like a little, it's like my kids. Like we've grown this community. It's awesome. I'm sure you have the exact same thing in your group. You have a community of people that support each other, and yep. It's awesome. I can't stress enough how hard it is when you live on an island and you're trying to run your business. It's almost impossible.
Yeah, I agree with that.
What's your thoughts on that?
When I bring groups together over the years, and I've done it in a lot of different iterations, especially if it's something that it's the first time they're getting involved in it, one of the biggest pieces of it all right, takeaway time. What's your takeaway? It is so nice to know I'm not the only one going through this. And once they taste that, they're like, oh, that's so reassuring. So I agree wholeheartedly. And similarly, like it's a played out theme, and it's been around for a while. You are the sum of the 5 people that are closest to you. Like we can roll our eyes at that / there is absolutely truth in that. You want to improve your mindset, you want to improve your positivity, you want to improve this or that. You find people that are doing those things and watch how your mindset shifts. Again, I'm not preaching, but I've been in this Bible study group with 5 guys it's going on about 12 years. Talk about putting yourself in a room actually of people that are further down the stream than you. One, I'm a little worried because they're all like 15 years older than me. So I'm like, y'all are going to go on to glory and I'm going to be like 50. Like, what am I going to do then? But even from a faith dynamic, I remember getting in that room and they're like, Kyle, why don't you open us in prayer? And I'm like, oh, crap. I am like, oh, this is intimidating, young Kyle and whatnot. I look at that and I look at all the areas of my life, whether it be faith or marriage or family or business or just life. And I look at that and go, without those guys, I am not who I am right now. And I see that on the business side of going, you get in a peer group, you get in a group, you get involved in a coach. I'm not who I am now. I wouldn't be who I am now if it wasn't for getting involved in that 2 years ago. Yeah, so much lone wolf mentality. And that's tough, man. That's tough. So if you're listening to this, there's so many opportunities, whether it, like you said, locally, whether it's online, whether it's putting up some hard-earned bucks. Yeah, give us some of your money because you put up some money, you take this stuff seriously, and you start implementing.
Yeah, you were talking about the Bible study and kind of it reminded me of I went on a mission trip one time, and we would have like before the trip, like 6 months away, we would do like these every couple of weeks, kind of get together, build, team building things within our group. And we had this little overnight stay at like a park. We rented one of those little cabins they have there, it sleeps like 10 people. Mm-hmm. So we're in there and we're going to do the Lord's Supper. And I was the co-leader of the group. So we had a leader and I was the co-leader, and I had been on several group trips before. And he goes, "Hey, would you lead us in the Lord's Supper, for the bread?" I didn't know the words.
Right.
Like I've partaken in that thousands of times, but I didn't know like the actual words that you say. And I didn't know. And I was like, "Can you say it one more time?" He's like, "Yeah, can you I'm like, "Say it one more time. What did you say?" And
yeah,
I screwed it up. Like I didn't even know, I didn't know the words to say. So it just reminded me of that. Like, you're going to make mistakes.
Yep.
Like, we're going to make mistakes. You're going to look like an idiot sometimes in front of people. That's just human nature.
And it means you're getting outside your comfort zone. If you've got a little bit of butterflies, in the past, I'd be like, "Oh crap, I'm all anxious. This is not good. This is not good." I've come to learn no, I'm actually living. I'm actually doing stuff. I'm actually pushing myself a little bit. Butterflies are a good thing. It means I'm trying something new. And frankly, when you've been in business a long time and you've been through a lot of experiences, I don't get the butterflies as much anymore, but I'm hyper aware when I do of going, "Oh, this is something new. This is exciting." Again, reframing. Another way of saying everything we're saying is like reframe it. Reframe that of like, no, that is anxiousness. I'll call it what it is, but it means I'm doing something. And it's in doing role playing, doing batting practice. It's uncomfortable. But on the other side of it is growth. So continue to put yourself in rooms that are uncomfortable. Continue to, like, some of you listening to this, there is somebody locally and you kind of know them, or somebody is really close to them, or they're part of your HBA and you kind of know them. Get brave and invite them out to lunch and buy them lunch. That singular conversation could change the trajectory of how you're viewing things, and they might teach you something, or it could turn into a mentorship. Stop trying to go at it on your own. Continue to work on your mindset. Continue to work on positive thinking. Reframe piss poor thinking into more positive thinking. And especially as you grow your business, what you'll realize is when you get your financials in order, your marketing plan going, your sales process going, your next big mountain you're going to climb is to be a leader. And you start to, even when you add your first person, you add your second person, now the complexity goes. Your big new mountain is going to be leadership. And people like to be around inspiring leaders. People like to be around leaders that are mature, that have thought through the emotional intelligence, not just the intellectual, the IQ, but the EQ. People want to be around people that are positive, that are forward thinking. So fixing your mindset early on as you continue to build your business, your next big mountain is leadership. It's going to be even more important then.
Yeah, and that's something you can't start early enough and never stop learning, right? Leadership is just a lifelong endeavor. I don't care what you do. Like you have to improve your leadership throughout your whole life. So even if you're a one-man show now, like, get started on leadership, because when you do add people, you'll be ahead of the game. So
I agree.
Awesome. I know we're getting a little tight on time here, Kyle, and I want to respect your time. Tell us a little bit where people can learn about your services, what you do, if they want to check you out and see if they want to join your group, and if you can help them, where can they go to find that?
Yeah. So if you type in Remodelers on the Rise, you're gonna find us out there. So remodellersontherise.com. There is a Facebook group. Now, some people are like, ugh, Facebook groups. Remodelerscommunity.com. You could request to join that. Probably only about 3 out of 10 people I let in there, but it's actually a free group that is very high quality, caring people. It's something I'm pretty proud of. And then, if you're a little further along in your journey, we have peer groups. So getting around 10 remodelers from around the country is something that could be real life-giving. But, and then we got the podcast. If you're like, I kind of like Brad's demeanor a little bit more. He's a little bit more relaxed and chill. This Kyle guy's a little nutty. If you're taking that away, or some of you might be going, I need some more of that energy. Go to the Remodelers on the Rise podcast, and you'll see me on there. Just don't listen to a lot of episodes, because I only have so many good things I say, and then I just repeat them all the time.
You mean you can't just keep coming up with new, fresh ideas and content for me all the time, Kyle?
Sometimes I worry, like, somebody's like, oh, I listened to all your episodes. I'm like, I could probably tell you my top 10 jokes, and you're going to roll your eyes because you've probably heard them too many times.
How long have you been doing the podcast? How many episodes in are you?
That is a good question. we're well into the 300s or whatnot. You know, that's one of those. I've got 2 full-time employees, and we have 3 kind of long-time clients who are doing some coaching for us. And the podcast is really like, Bailey was managing it and producing it for a long time. Now Cassie on my team is doing it, and she's fantastic at it. And so I don't know. I get to show up and prep for it, and then do my little dog and pony show, and then it magically gets a title and a description, and it gets published because I've got a fantastic team.
Yeah, I know. After a while, it just blends together. Yeah. You're like, I don't even know what episode we're on. 250, 300. It's all the same.
Now we do pause at the. We did some planning, and then we had some meetings around the podcast and going, all right, how do we keep this fresh? You know, how do we not take it for granted? Are we tracking some of the metrics? Should we play with the titles a little bit more? That's that incremental improvement. That's that 1%. Business never ends. That's what's like. Some of you are listening to this. You've got some major turning of some dials that you need to get in place. And okay, all right, I got my pricing right. Okay, I've got a good sales process. And then it's just this never-ending game of kind of tweaking and testing and measuring and, you know, marketing and sales. So we're definitely active. We're definitely active and continue to improve and tweak it, just like everybody listening to this. Continue to tweak. Don't get complacent. Continue to say, is this working? What's working? What's not working? Do that in your sales. Do that in your marketing. Do that in your financials.
Yeah, that's great wisdom to end on. Kyle, I always ask all my guests this. What's a book that you're reading or one that you would recommend?
The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry. The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry. It's actually written by a pastor out in the Pacific Northwest, and it's got a little Jesus in it, but it's also just got some good perspective on things. As I read it, I felt very attacked. I'm like, well, yes, I am the one who at the grocery store, chooses as hyper analyzing the line to see which one's going to be more optimistic. I do race the person off the line. So it's a book that reminds me, as somebody who is an entrepreneur, as somebody who is go, to slow down a little bit. It ties in with a lot of the stuff we're talking about here. Slow down a little bit. Recognize all the good stuff that's going on in your life. You don't have to be in such a hurry. Make sure that the work is going to be there tomorrow. I've been in business 18 years. I'm still not at the end of my to-do list. The work is always going to be there. Pay attention to your key relationships in your life, whether that's God, whether that's your friends, whether that's your spouse, whether that's your kids. We've got to make sure business is not overtaking our life. And it's so easy for business to start to get its fangs into so many areas of our life. We need to push against that a little bit. So there's a lot of talk in there about that, but also just the title says it all, The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry. Take a breath, Kyle. Take a breath, Brad. Slow down a little bit. Pay attention to what's going on around you, how you're feeling, and why you're feeling that way. Feel a little bit more in control of things. Last week at this marriage conference, I learned about the nervous system, and there's the ventral, which is kind of calm and content. There's the fight or flight, which most all of us have heard of, anxiousness and always this and that. And then dorsal, which is shutdown mode. And my wife's elbowing me when the Dr. Joshua Straub is in the fight or flight mode. She's like, that's you. This is why I'm always telling you this. And for some reason, it connected with me differently to hear it from this Dr. Josh. And I've been hyper aware that I live too often in fight or flight. I'm always thinking 5 steps ahead. I'm always worried about this. I'm always thinking about, okay, I need to set a reminder for this. Okay, Sarah's got this going. I need to help her with that. And I've been hyper aware, and I have been so much more peaceful for the last 9 days of don't get worked up about the little things. Keep things in proper perspective. There's more joy in life to be found in that ventral mode. And you can absolutely, we're business owners. There's a lot going on. We got to get in fight or flight mode. We shouldn't live there though. So, that ruthless elimination of hurry, paying attention to that stuff, would be what I'd leave you with that.
That's a great book. I've never heard of it. I'll definitely check that
That's
out.
A good one.
It's one of the reasons I asked, so I can get recommendations and then they can.
Hang on. I need one too. Give me your top one right now.
There's a lot. I could say, get my book, but that would be a shameless plug.
See, and you do crap like that, and you're going to get a review of like, oh, there's Brad. All he wants is our money. Get me into the funnel. That's why you're getting those reviews, brother.
Yeah. I think it depends on what you're talking about, but I think a good book, what's the one I'm reading right now? I forgot actually what. Oh, I'm reading the one from that it was Marcus Sheridan's book that he talked about at the job.
Endless Customers?
Endless Customers. I'm reading that right now. Okay. That's a pretty good, interesting book. And I would recommend that. My favorite book of all time, probably, especially for someone starting out, is The E-Myth. I recommend The E-Myth to everyone.
Yeah.
Michael Gerber.
It's good.
It's just a great foundational book. So
wonderful.
Awesome. Well, Kyle, thanks again for being on the show. Guys, if you want to check out Kyle and his work and he does his podcast, please go do that. Remodelers on the Rise. He's been doing it for a long time, longer than I have. He's probably got a lot more information to share than I do. So go check out Kyle. And I appreciate you hanging out with me. You know where to find me on the socials. You can just go look for the Hammer and Grind podcast. Oh, and by the way, we'll put Kyle's information in the show notes too, so you can just go there and get the links and stuff. But that's the end of the show, guys. I appreciate you hanging out with me. Remember, until next time, profit is not a dirty word.
Hey, let me take a quick break to say this. One of the biggest shifts I've seen in remodelers over the years happens when they get in a room with other growth-minded business owners. That's what the Rise Conference is all about. August 11th and 12th in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Pricing, leadership, production, marketing, and most importantly, real conversations with people who understand your world. If you want clarity and momentum heading into the next season of your business, this is a great place to get it. And it's a lot of fun. You can find all the info at remodelers.com/rise. Thanks for tuning in to the Remodelers on the Rise show. Whether you're listening or watching, I appreciate you being here. If this was helpful, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss the next one. We're putting out new episodes every single week, focused on helping you build a better remodeling business with real stories, practical ideas, and things you can actually take and use. If you're on YouTube, hit that like button and turn on notifications so you know when new episodes drop. If you're listening on a podcast app, a 5-star review goes a long way and helps more remodelers find the show. We've got great links below or in the show notes where you can connect with us, check out our remodelers community, and learn more about our coaching and resources. Appreciate you very much. See you on the next episode.